In this video, we're going to look at the structure of the Federal Reserve. So we're going to start off by looking at how the Federal Reserve banks are broken up through the United States. There are 12 Federal Reserve banks. Okay, there's 12 different branches of the Federal Reserve. Okay, there's one right here in Boston. There's another one in New York. There's another one in Philadelphia. And there's another one in Richmond. And then right here between them, see, this is where the Board of Governors is. Okay, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's one down in Atlanta. There's one over in Dallas. There's one in Kansas. There's one in Minneapolis. There's one in Chicago. There's one in Cleveland. There's one in St. Louis. There's one in San Francisco. All right, I don't think I'm missing any. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so as you can see, there are an increased number over on the East Coast. Obviously, the New York one is very important. That would be this one right here. The New York one is very important because that's the financial capital of the United States. Over here, we're in the 12th district. This is the one for San Francisco. And as you can see, they have a very large portion of the United States that they are in control of. So San Francisco actually should be significantly over here, but that's our area. And also Hawaii and Alaska are part of the 12th district. Okay, so if you want to go and check out the Federal Reserve in San Francisco, it's a very beautiful building, and you can actually go in a tiny bit to the visiting area. You can't get behind the scenes. There's a lot of security to get through, but if you ever do get a chance to tour it, it's absolutely a fascinating area to learn a lot about monetary policy and economics. So how is this this Federal Reserve set up? Okay, so the Board of Governors. So the Board of Governors starts off with the chairman of the board. Okay, and underneath the chairman of the board is the vice chairman of the board. Now, both the chairman and the vice chair are appointed by the president and confirmed by the Senate. After that, on the Board of Governors, there are still 5 other Board of Governor members. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so the vice chairman and the chair and these other 5 members of the Board of Governors make up the governing body of the Fed. Okay, so this is the Board of Governors. After the Board of Governors, if we look at the Federal Open Market Committee, and these are the people that shape macroeconomic policy. After them, there come an additional, so this is a 7-member board, and the Federal Open Market Committee is a 12-member committee. So in addition to the 7 members, there are 5, 2, 3, 4, 5 additional bank presidents from the other banks if they're not already on the Board of Governors. And then the additional bank presidents, and this one is always New York. The New York president is always always has a seat in the Federal Open Market Committee. Okay, now additional bank presidents are allowed to sit on these meetings. However, they are not allowed to vote. They are allowed to discuss and hope to influence. However, they are not allowed to be one of the voters. So the Board of Governors, they're all appointed by the president. Every odd year, one term is ending. So they're constantly being replaced every year. One term is ending. The vice chair, the chairman of the board, is appointed for a 4-year term. We have a term that just started in 2014 and will go until 2018. So that's Janet Yellen, our first female Board of Governors. Okay, so after this, let's see what the Federal Reserve does. Well, they have quite a few different hats. One, they're in charge of monetary policy. And monetary policy is going to be making sure that there's the right amount of money, so money supply in the economy. Okay, they also have the job of regulating all the banks. Regulation of banking industry. Okay, and additionally, they are a bank themselves. Okay, the federal government has their checking account with the Federal Reserve. So when you get your tax refund or when you have to send money to the IRS, they in turn send it to the Treasury. And when you get your tax refund, it is actually on a check that is in the Federal Reserve's a bank account, which the federal government holds. Okay, so this is a little bit about the structure of the Fed. In the next video, we're going to look at the 3 different tools of monetary policy.